The old elevator trick right there. Welcome back to another beautiful day in the land of music. My name is Douglas, and first of all, welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new, welcome to the channel. It's been a couple weeks, been a couple crazy weeks, and it's been probably at least 2 weeks since I've posted my last video. But the break has been good. It's been a little crazy on my end, but hope you're doing well. Welcome back, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Oxygen 49. Now, this is the 5th generation of the Oxygen series, and not only are we going to open this up, but I have another really cool thing to open up that'll be a separate video, but it is Complete 13 Ultimate. Upgrading my setup from a virtual instrument standpoint. We're going to be using this with that in a future video, but for this video, we're going to talk about the Oxygen 49 in comparison to the Oxygen Pro. You might be wondering, which one do I get? So let's go ahead and open this up. And while we do that, I just want to talk about this one in comparison to the Oxygen Pro. So the Oxygen Pro is kind of M Audio's flagship controller at this point. And this controller, the Oxygen, is kind of a scaled back version of the Oxygen Pro. It has velocity sensitive keys and pads, but it doesn't have semi-weighted. So the Oxygen Pro has semi-weighted, the Oxygen has velocity sensitive synth style keys. So let's slide this out of here and actually take a look at this. Get it all unbagged here. There we go. There we go. And my favorite part of any unboxing is this right here. It does that every time. I hope you guys have come to expect that when I pull the plastic off, it just sticks right to my face. Wow, actually, this is awesome. So I've got the 49 key version right here. Let me flip that around and just give you a nice close-up look of that. So over here, we've got a simpler screen than we've got on the Oxygen Pro. We've got 8 faders, 8 knobs, 8 pads, and actually, I take that back, there's 9 faders. So at a first glance, this controller is perfect in my mind under a couple of different scenarios. One, you're just looking to get into computer MIDI and you want something that's cheap. It's not gonna break the bank, but it has a lot of features to it. I think this is a perfect controller. Comes with Ableton Live Lite, and it also comes with MPC Beats, and it comes with the Mini Grand plugin and the synth engine, and I'll show you those here in a couple of minutes once I plug this in. But the other scenario is if you're looking for portability. This is gonna be lighter because it doesn't have semi-weighted keys. It's gonna be lighter than the Oxygen Pro. So if you're looking for something that you can throw in a bag, maybe it's not this 49 key version, maybe it's the 25 key that you toss in a backpack, take with you to the park, and make some beautiful music. So the key bed on this is very light, and that is exactly what I would expect. Light synth action, no aftertouch on the Oxygen, and that is something you do get on the Oxygen Pro. So if you're looking for aftertouch, spend a little more, get the Oxygen Pro. Another big difference here, besides some of the layout on this from the Oxygen Pro, is the screen right here is different. The button layout around the screen, much simpler than we have in the Oxygen Pro. Let's go ahead and plug this in since I've got my computer right here. And let's turn this on. I wanna just kind of play around with this a little bit and show you what it comes with for instruments and for software. So on the back, we have the USB, which also powers this controller. One thing I love that M Audio does that I don't see other controller manufacturers do as much is providing an on-off switch. Some manufacturers are just like, just unplug the USB if you want to turn it off. But for me, I'd rather leave things plugged in if I've got my studio set up. I want to leave it plugged in and plug this into the computer and turn it on. I want to be able to just turn it on and off with a power switch. So here we go. We get some pads light up, and really what we see here is a one-line display. Nice big numbers, easy to read, which is great. The faders themselves, they actually feel good. They have nice resistance to them, but they're not as big and easy to grab as the ones on the Oxygen Pro. Still not bad. The knobs feel very similar, if not the same, to the Oxygen Pro. little bit of play there. But again, we're talking about a controller that's less than $200 here for the 49 key version. So pretty good. One thing I will say about the drum pads is I love how big they are. Sometimes on the less expensive controllers, they give you drum pads, but they're these little drum pads. I like to be able to get a double tap in there with 2 fingers, and you can't do that if the pads are too small. I noticed this on the Novation Launch Key, at least the previous version, the pads were pretty small, and it was hard to get some of those articulations that I like to get when I'm playing drums on drum pads. We have some other simplified controls here. We have stop, play, record, and loop. Some simple transport controls there. We do have an octave up and down, and we see that reflected on the display. We have shift, which would perform the functions of the labels underneath the buttons. So if I hold shift, I can switch my modes. I can access some of these functions that are labeled under the pads, or I can access these labeled functions here on the keys. So rather than have a bunch of buttons like you've got on the Oxygen Pro, they've actually put labels here and allowed you to switch those functions like the arpeggiator controls, the chord mode and scale mode keys, voicings, all of that can be done by just holding shift and tapping on the appropriate key associated to the label above the key. So a lot of the functions that are buried in the screen on the Oxygen Pro are actually laid out here on the keys with the Oxygen. I kind of like that because all you do is hold shift, boom, tap it, and you're good to go. So we've got a couple other things here. We've got note repeat, latch. We can change between our preset and our DAW modes. And then we can hold shift here and move between our arpeggiator mode. And there's a little dot that shows above each one. So arpeggiator, scale, chord. One thing I didn't mention is in the box as well, there's the user manual, the quick start guide, I guess I'd say, and then how to download the software. I'll show you that here in a minute. But we've got the warranty safety instructions and then the quick start guide, which will give you all the basic functions of the controller right here. I'm gonna be doing a bunch of videos, so make sure you're subscribed. If you're curious on how to use the arpeggiator, chord mode, scale mode in the Oxygen 5th generation, check that out. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss those as they come out. Because it is a little different than the Oxygen Pro, I'll be coming out with videos similar to what I did with the Oxygen Pro on how to change and customize functionality within the Oxygen. So be on the lookout for those. I'm gonna go ahead and get this registered on the M Audio website, and then we'll take a look at what this comes with from a virtual instrument perspective and what it comes with for included software. So over here on the computer to register this, I'm gonna open up my browser, and then I'm gonna go to maudio.com/software download. And you can see I've accessed this before because I have a couple of M Audio's controllers already. It says, thank you for purchasing your product, and you can either log in or you can create an account here. Because I already have a couple of M Audio products, I already have an account, so I'm gonna log in. And then the next step is we're gonna register our hardware with the serial number that's on the back of the controller. So just flip that up and there's a label on the bottom with your serial number. And then we're gonna go ahead and download the software. In my case, I already have a lot of the software downloaded from previous controllers because the Oxygen Pro and the Hammer 88 Pro actually come with the same virtual instruments and software that this does plus some. So we'll take a look at what the Oxygen comes with so you know what to expect, but it's definitely enough to get you started. You can download Ableton Live Lite or MPC Beats and download the 2 virtual instruments that come with this, and that's gonna give you a big jump start into your creative process, into learning how to use computer recording and all of that. So let's log in here, and now that I've signed in, I'm gonna go to the register product. Whether you're creating a new account or signing into an existing account, you're gonna wanna go to that register product link. And then I'm gonna choose my product here. So my product is the Oxygen 49 MK5. And then I'm gonna punch the serial number in and put in your purchase date and click register product. So once we register our serial number, we're gonna be brought over to the My Products page. And you'll see here at the top, it says Oxygen 49 MK5. We're gonna go down, we could get the user guide right here. It does come with a printed version. And then we're gonna download the Oxygen 5 series software manager. I'm on Windows, so I'm gonna click the Windows and I'm gonna save that to my computer. Once that downloads, click the open and it's gonna go through the install process. And once it's finished installing, you're gonna get the software manager that opens up. It says, welcome to the M-Audio Oxygen series. Congratulations on purchasing your controller. Let's go. So we click that and it says connect your keyboard, which we've done already. And click next and it shows us the instruments here. So this comes with the Hybrid 3, which is the synthesizer engine. And then it comes with the Mini Grand. As you can see, I've got both of these installed, but if you don't have them installed on your computer, just check the little box next to install and go through the installation process. I'm gonna click next and it brings me to the apps. So right here you can see we only have MPC Beats. I could select that just like I could do with the instruments if I hadn't installed them. And in this case, I'm gonna uncheck this because I don't wanna install this right now. And I'm gonna move to the next screen and I'm gonna uncheck the MPC Beats packs. It comes with F9 Beats instrument collection, producer kits, soulful drums, lo-fi producer collection, and the trap, soul, and lo-fi beats. So these are different sound packs that you can install into MPC Beats if you're using that. I'm gonna click finish and it brings me back to the screen that you're gonna get to anytime you open this up after the initial time. So you can see here, I've got my 2 instruments here and you would see a get button right here if you didn't have these installed already. Because I have these installed, I've got an open button. So I could open them right from here. These are the standalone instruments. You can actually use these without a DAW, which is really cool. If you just want to practice or things like that, you can just open up the standalone instruments from the software manager or from your start menu after you install those. In the apps, you'll see we have MPC Beats here, but we also have Ableton Live Lite, and the code for that is on the M-Audio My Products website. We also have access to Melodics and Scoov, and then our sound packs down at the bottom that we could download. The other thing I want to mention is up here in this gear icon, there's this Show Advanced Software. And over here, you don't see the checkbox on my computer. I know some people do see it. I've never seen it. But if you hover over with your mouse, you see a little hand and you can check the checkbox there and close this. And that gives you access to the instrument plugin onlys. So that being said, I want to just recap here. So the Oxygen 49, think of it as a scaled back version of the Oxygen Pro. And I really think this is a great controller if you're just getting started in the music world or just getting started in the computer music world, or if you're looking for something that's a little bit more portable than the Oxygen Pro, this could be the ticket. So if you've got questions, throw them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future videos where I go over some of the functions of the arpeggiator, chord mode, scale mode, all of that. And like this video if you found it helpful. Thanks for watching. Stay inspired and keep making that music. Oh yeah, there's a sustain pedal input too. Don't forget that. It's the most important part when you're playing those panel licks.